In the last lecture, we talked about the polytene and the Lamb-Brush chromosomes. In this video lecture, we'll be talking about some of the dyes used to stain chromosome and the banding pattern that we obtain. The banding era in human cytogenetics began in 1970 with the publication of Q banding of human chromosomes. Subsequently, numerous other banding methods have been introduced, many of them designed for very specialized purposes. Some techniques make variations in certain chromosomal segments visible, thus allowing determination of the parental origin of a particular chromosome. Others identify pericentric heterochromatin in all or some autosomes and the distal Y chromosome, or specific pericentromeric heterochromatin, for example in chromosome number 15. Staining techniques help us to study the karyotype in plants and animals. Fulgen stain is a staining technique discovered by Robert Fulgen and is used in histology to identify chromosomal material or DNA in cell specimen. The cells are subjected to mild hydrolysis in 1 normal HCl at 60 degrees Celsius for about 10 minutes. This treatment produces a free aldehyde group in the deoxyribose molecules, that is in the sugar molecules of DNA, followed by staining with the Schiff's reagent, which gives a deep pink color. Schiff's reagent is basic fudgeon bleached with sulfurous acid. Quinacrine mustard is a fluorescent DNA intercalating agent. It selectively binds to adenine thymine base pairs over guanine cytosine base pairs. Quinacrine mustard has been used to label metaphase chromosomes for karyotyping by autoradiography. Giemsa is a stain named after German chemist and bacteriologist Gustav Giemsa and is used in cytogenetics. It is specific for the phosphate groups of DNA and attaches itself to regions of DNA where there are high amounts of AT bonding. Giemsa stain is used to stain a chromosome and to create karyograms. It can identify chromosomal aberrations such as translocations and rearrangements. Acridine orange is a cell-permeant nucleic acid binding dye that emits green fluorescence when it is bound to double-stranded DNA and red fluorescence when it is bound to single-stranded DNA or RNA. This unique characteristic makes acridine orange useful for cell cycle studies. This dye has also been used to stain lysosomes. Silver nitrate is used in silver staining, that is, the use of silver to selectively alter the appearance of a target in microscopy of histological sections. Also used in temperature gradient gel electrophoresis and in polyacrylamide gels. Silver staining is also used in karyotyping. DAPI, that is 4,6-diamidino 2-phenylindole, is a blue fluorescent DNA strain that exhibits approximately 20-fold enhancement of fluorescence upon binding to the AT regions of a double-stranded DNA. This stain is excited by violet laser line at a wavelength of 405 nanometers and is commonly used as a nuclear counter stain in fluorescence microscopy, flow cytometry, and in chromosome staining. Due to its high affinity for DNA, it is also frequently used for counting cells, for measuring apoptosis, sorting cells based on the DNA content. DAPI is generally used to stain fixed cells since the dye is cell impermeant, although the stain will enter live cells when used at higher concentrations. For live cell staining, Hoechst 33342 dye is a popular cell permeant nuclear counter stain. Now coming to the banding technique, Q bands are the fluorescent bands observed after staining with quinacrine mustard and observation with ultraviolet light. So we stain with quinacrine mustard and observe with ultraviolet light. Quinacrine intercalates into chromosomal DNA irrespective of the sequence, but it fluoresces brighter in the regions of AT-rich DNA. Fluorochromes, which have a preference for GC-rich DNA, are, for example, chromomycin and 7-amino-actinomycin D. The Y chromosome by this method becomes brightly fluorescent. G banding. The G bands, where G comes from GIMSA, have the same location as Q bands and they do not require fluorescent microscopy. Many techniques of G banding are available. Each involves some pre-treatment of the chromosomes. In one of the techniques, chromosomes are treated with acid, saline, and then stained with GIMSA. So in ASG, that is acid, saline, GIMSA, the cells are incubated in citric acid and NaCl for 1 hour at 60 degrees Celsius, and after this they are treated with the GIMSA stain. The result is a series of dark and light stripes where AT-rich regions stain darker than the GC-rich regions. R banding, R comes from reverse. So the reverse bands are those located in the zones that do not fluoresce with quinacrine mustard. That is, they are between the Q bands and can be visualized as green. The pre-treatment involves incubation in hot phosphate buffer, followed by staining with GIMSA. The end result is a banding pattern that is opposite to what is seen in G banding. C banding. C bands correspond to constitutive heterochromatin. They are useful in staining the centromeric region, the pericentric portions of chromosome number 1, 9, 16, distal segment of long arm of the Y chromosome, and on the short arm of the 5 acrocentric chromosomes. That is the chromosome number 13, 14, 15, 21, 22. Pre-treatment involves denaturing DNA by treatment with alkali, salt or heat, followed by staining with Giemsa. NOR banding. It involves silver staining, that is staining with silver nitrate solution of the NOR, that is a nucleolar organizing region which contains the ribosomal RNA. Human chromosomes 13, 14, 15, 21 and 22 have nucleolar organizing regions. T-banding is a staining of the telomeric regions with acridine orange after thermal denaturation. Thank you.